The truth is, the longer that you do this type of work, the more redundant it's going to become. Like this particular sheath that I'm going to be doing today for this Shrade. Shrade has come a long ways and has actually been putting forth some really nice knives. Now the knife or the sheath that I'm going to make for this is just going to be a simple woodcraft sheath. And these are the things that can become redundant. You know, it's a woodcraft sheath is something that I've done literally thousands of times, but I've never done one for this particular Shrade. So even though we've done a particular item thousands of times, doesn't mean that we can't slow down and have some fun, especially when it's a knife that we've never done before. Plus, remember, this is going to a customer. We should always slow down, take our time, and give the customer exactly what they paid for. Now this is the Shrade ABC123XYZ. I would imagine it has diamond coated titanium blade. Okay, obviously I'm full of shit. But this is the, let's see, the SCH42 Griffin design. Really like that edge. It's very clean, very crisp. It's actually a nice knife. The handle feels decent. I mean, if it wasn't hard plastic, something about the hard plastic really I don't like. But as far as the shape and everything else goes, it's not bad. Not bad at all. It looks like this knife is brand spanking new too. It doesn't look like this thing is even cut so much as paper. So when the customer gets this back, it's literally going to be a brand new item. It's going to be a brand new sheath, brand new knife, brand new everything. Now the sheath that it actually came with is a leather sheath, and you know, aesthetically it's nasty, very ugly. Functionally, it seems to be pretty solid though. I mean, it's holds the knife in there nice and secure. It's going to be sloppy and loose around the, oh well, yeah, you see we're starting to crack out up here, which means it wasn't treated very well before it left. That's not a good thing. So, enough rambling, let's get to it. Now in videos past, you've probably heard me say that the design of the knife dictates the design of the sheath. And that is very much the truth, and that's something that everyone needs to understand. Just because someone sends you a knife and says, hey, can you make me a woodcraft sheath for this? Of course you can make that sheath, but is it going to last? Is it going to turn into a bucket sheath? These are the things that you need to understand when it comes to making these sheaths, because that's something that you have to tell your customer. Your customer's paying money for this. The last thing they want is to get it, use it 2 or 3 times, turn the sheath over, and the knife falls out. No one wants that. So you have to think about these things. When I look at this knife, the very first thing I see is this hard plastic handle. That is going to be horrible in leather because it's going to be very slippery. It's going to slide in and out really easy. So if this just had plastic scales with this shape, I could still do a decent wet form to where it was decent, but it would be better without these scales. Now when I turn this knife over on its back and I look at it from this angle, just like my favorite woodcraft sheath or woodcraft knife, the Skookum, it has them flares right there. Because of those flares, we should be able to make a very good woodcraft sheath for this knife. And remember guys, I can't teach you how to really make a template. I can give you some pointers and some of the things that I do, but ultimately when it comes to designing templates and everything, that's something that you're going to have to work out for yourself, because I may make this extremely more elaborate than it needs to be, There are people in this world that are far smarter than me, because basically all I am is a big damn chimpanzee. There are smart people that can just whiz through this. But anyway, now you can see the shape starting to take place. And also, I encourage each and every new individual out there, when you make a template for the first time, don't use paper. Paper is something that I have adapted because I've been doing this for a long time. Obviously, paper is not going to take into consideration the thickness of leather. That's why in some of my other videos, you always talk about me saying extend a little, you know, 1/4 of an inch here, 1/4 of an inch there, and that's simply because I want to make sure that I have adequate space. So, something that a lot of people, the new people I suggest you use is cardboard. I do not use cardboard anymore because it's a pain in the butt to keep and store and everything else, and it doesn't hold up for very long. You know, you make a template, you use it 2 or 3 times, and the next thing you know, you got to throw it away. But I definitely suggest everyone start off with cardboard. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be angry with this video because they're going to be wondering, Justin, where are the tutorials? We want tutorials, not you rambling. Well, guys, I have tutorials. I have a lot of tutorials. Just go back in the archives and take a look. In fact, some of them are 45 minutes long, 3 parts, so they go into pretty good detail. What these videos are mainly about is not necessarily tutorials, but giving you guys tips, things that I've learned through the years that's going to help you, okay? These are tips that are going to save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, because I have made thousands of dollars in mistakes. So I'm trying to help you guys. So before we can move on with our next step of cutting out the leather, is we need to figure out what kind of leather we're going to use. This is difficult because there are many different qualities when it comes to leather, and I use quite a bit of a variety of quality and material. For example, like this right here, this is 9/10 ounce veg tan, but you can see it's got a lot of fuzzies. Okay, this particular leather you can make sheaths out of, but the flesh side is not going to look as nice. This type of material I save generally for welts, things like that. Now this one is a medium grade leather. This particular leather I can make sheaths out of and make them look really nice. But there's a lot of inconsistencies with this leather. You know, one section it might be really nice, next section it might be really crappy and everything else. And you just have to learn how to read your leather. Let's just put it that way. I know what I can do with this leather versus the other leather or the leather I'm getting ready to show you. This leather here is a very premium piece of leather. If I have any of the flesh side showing on my sheath, this is the type of leather I want. It is very expensive, okay? You do not, I repeat, you do not have to use this leather. This is just something that I do because I want everyone as a customer to know that they are getting literally the finest quality piece they can buy. This is a European single bend, and I encourage everyone to look these up. And then you can see just how expensive material really is. What you're looking at right here though is the flesh side. Very, very gorgeous, very nice. And this side, well, you can see just how premium it is. Very, very beautiful leather. Very beautiful. Like I said, I can use the other leather to make this sheath, but man, why would I do that? I take extremely large amount of pride in my work. All right, now, if you guys remember in the beginning of the video I said, just because you're making something that may be a little redundant to you, doesn't mean that you shouldn't slow down, take your time and create something beautiful, because just because it's redundant to you, well, your customer is wanting perfection, wanting a piece of art. So that's exactly what you do. You slow down and you give them something like this, okay? Need to clean off a little dye off that D-ring right there. So it's beautiful. Now it's one of those things, how does it function? Well, let's see. Oh my God, it snaps into place. Imagine that. God bless those flares right there. Know your knife, understand the design, and then you'll understand what kind of sheaths that knife will work good in. Hope you all enjoyed it.